I had a full 5-year plan. Notebook, gel pen, tabs, very Pinterest.
How many pages did you fill?
2.
2.
2.25 if you count the doodle of a motivational sun.
That sun was doing its best.
The sun was thriving. I was not. And here's the thing. I genuinely don't think it was my fault.
Wait, you're going to make a case that abandoning a 5-year plan in 2 pages is not your fault.
I'm going to make a case that the people who finished the notebook might actually be doing it wrong.
Okay, I need you to explain that immediately. All right, so Sarah thinks the people who fill the notebook are the ones getting it wrong. That's where we are.
I don't think it. I'll prove it. But for anyone who just landed here, welcome to English Couch. We're a podcast-style English show. Real conversations, real language. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike, and today we're talking about small goals, which sounds like the most boring topic in the world until you realize it's actually the reason some people change their entire lives and other people just buy nicer notebooks.
And here's why this matters right now. If you've ever quit a goal, the story you told yourself was probably, I'm not disciplined enough. But that story is wrong. It's not a discipline problem, it's a design problem. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to fix the design.
There's also something we found out about how small goals affect the way you see yourself, not just what you do, but who you think you are. And that one genuinely surprised me. We're getting to it.
Yeah, it kind of reframes everything. Stay with us.
So let's start with why big goals collapse, because I think people already know they collapse, they just don't know why.
And they blame themselves every time.
Right, which is brutal. So when do people usually make big goals?
When they feel incredible. Saturday morning energy, fresh notebook, just watched something that made you want to run a marathon.
Exactly. And that version of you, Motivated Saturday You, makes a plan for Motivated Saturday You, which makes total sense in the moment.
But then Tuesday shows up.
Tuesday evening, you've been in back-to-back calls, you skipped lunch, someone in your family needed something, and now you're looking at the plan you made on Saturday, and it says, wake up at 5 a.m., exercise, journal, read, meditate.
And Tuesday You is like, I cannot even look at this right now.
And it's not that you changed your mind about wanting those things, it's that the goal was designed for a version of your life that doesn't actually exist most of the time.
That hit me when I first thought about it. Like, I didn't fail the goal failed me.
Which is actually a more useful way to think about it, because it means the fix is in the design, not in you forcing yourself to be someone you're not.
And the other thing, trying to change everything at once. Like, if I decide I'm going to completely overhaul my mornings, my diet, my screen time, and my sleep schedule simultaneously, even 3 perfect days in a row, and then one messy day comes and the whole thing collapses.
Because when you link everything together, one failure feels like total failure, and that feeling is worse than when you started. So then you need extra motivation just to try again, and you're already depleted.
It's a trap with very nice branding.
The notebook, the gel pen.
The motivational sun had no idea what it was part of. So let's actually define what a small goal is, because I think people hear small goal and feel embarrassed. Like, is this all I'm capable of?
Which is such an understandable reaction. We're surrounded by stories of dramatic transformation, the before and after, the person who completely changed their life in 90 days.
Nobody posts about, I opened my English app for 7 minutes before bed every night for 4 months.
Even though that's probably what got a lot of those people their results.
So when we say small, we mean manageable. Not easy, manageable. There's a real difference.
Manageable means it fits inside your actual real life, not your ideal life. Reading 1 page before bed is manageable. Reading 30 pages every night is for the version of you that also has a personal chef and no group chats.
The real test of a small goal, and this is the one I use, can I do this on my worst day? Not my best, my worst. A day where I'm tired, something went sideways, I just want to lie down.
Because if the goal only works on easy days, it's not a habit yet. It's just a good intention.
Exactly. And the other word is sustainable. Will I still be doing this in 6 months?
A big, dramatic effort might produce results for 2 weeks, but a 10-minute walk every day for 6 months will beat a 1-week fitness blitz every single time. Not because of the walk, because of the consistency.
I actually tested this. I said I'd listen to one English podcast episode every day during my commute. Not study, not take notes, just listen. And I actually did it for, I want to say, 11 weeks before I missed a day.
That's genuinely impressive.
And by week 6, my ear for American rhythm was just different. Not because the goal was impressive, because it was small enough that I never had a reason to skip.
That's the thing nobody says out loud. A goal small enough that you can't argue yourself out of it is more powerful than a goal that inspires you.
And that connects to something we're getting to in a bit that's going to completely change how you think about why consistency matters, not just what it produces.
Okay, so I want to tell you about the part that actually broke my brain a little when I first encountered it.
Oh, this one.
So, we've been talking about small goals in terms of results, right? You do the small thing, you build a habit, you get better at English. That's the obvious value.
But there's a hidden value.
There's a hidden value, and it's not about the skill at all. It's about something called self-trust.
Which sounds soft, but is genuinely one of the most practical things in here.
So, self-trust is this. Every time you make a promise to yourself and you don't keep it, your brain logs that. You're not consciously aware of it, but over time, if you've broken enough promises to yourself, quit enough goals, abandoned enough notebooks, you start to doubt yourself before you even begin.
Like, you'll set a goal, and part of your brain is already saying, yeah, but you won't actually do this.
Because it has evidence, and that's not weakness, that's your brain being rational. It's learned not to trust the promises you make.
But here's the twist.
The twist, yeah. Small goals are a way to rebuild that evidence in the other direction. You make a tiny promise, you keep it. The next day, you keep it again. And each time, it's not exciting, it doesn't feel like a breakthrough, but you are quietly accumulating proof that you are someone who does what they say.
And at some point, that proof tips. You stop thinking, I should do this, and you start thinking, this is just what I do.
And that shift from discipline to identity is when things actually get easy, not because the task gets easier, because it's no longer a decision.
I had a moment about 8 weeks into the podcast everyday thing where I realized I wasn't reminding myself to do it anymore. It was just what happened during my commute.
That's it. That's the whole thing. The goal became part of who you are, not something you're forcing yourself to do.
And it started with something embarrassingly small.
Which is exactly why the small goal isn't weak. It's actually the most efficient way to change who you believe yourself to be.
Can I say something quickly? Because this is the part of the conversation where I want to just acknowledge the people in the comments who actually do the work.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We read the comments, genuinely. And there are people who come back episode after episode, who answer the challenges, who help other learners in the thread. And it's not nothing. We see it.
So every month we spotlight 3 of them. Not the people who've been learning the longest or have the most perfect English, just the ones who show up, contribute, make the space better. The English Couch Monthly Top 3.
It's not a competition. It's just us noticing. If you want to be part of this place, the comments are where that starts.
All right, let's put this all in one picture.
Real scenario. You're learning English. Conversational, American-style English. Your goal until last month was, I'm going to become fluent, which is a beautiful goal that has never actually produced a result.
Because it has no shape. You can't do become fluent on a Tuesday.
So instead, you switch to, every morning while coffee brews, I say 5 sentences out loud. In English. Just 5.
That takes 2 minutes, maybe 3 if the coffee's slow.
That's your whole goal. That's the whole thing. Day 1, you feel slightly ridiculous talking to your kitchen.
Totally normal.
Day 8, you notice you're self-correcting mid-sentence, which means your ear is getting faster.
Day 22, someone at work compliments your phrasing on a call, and you think, wait, that's from the kitchen thing.
And by month 4, you don't have to remind yourself anymore. It's just what happens with the coffee. And now your self-trust is rebuilt. Your ear is different. And your brain has a month of proof that you are someone who does this.
All of that from 5 sentences and a slow coffee maker.
The notebook girl is now a kitchen girl. The sundoodle is gone, and I'm fine about it.
You're healing.
I am healing. But here's the line I want to leave you with. The goal that's small enough to survive your worst day is the one that actually changes you.
Okay, your turn. Real exercise, and we want to see your answer below.
Take the English goal you've been putting off, the big one. I want to be fluent. I want to sound natural. I want to stop freezing when I have to speak. Got it in your head?
Now shrink it. What's the version of that goal that takes 5 minutes or less that you could do tomorrow, even if tomorrow is terrible?
Drop it below, specific as possible. Not, I'll practice more English. Something like, I'll say 3 sentences out loud in English while I make dinner. That level of specific.
We're reading every single one. And if your goal is small enough that you're slightly embarrassed by it, that's probably the right one.
And the episode question, has there been a moment where a small, almost embarrassing habit turned into something that actually stuck? Tell us the habit. We want the details.
And if there's a grammar thing, a pronunciation thing, a vocab thing, something in English that's been confusing you for a while and nobody's really explained it properly, drop that in the comments too. We build episodes from those.
The Notebook. I will not stop thinking about The Notebook.
2 1/4 pages.
The sundoodle was genuinely good, though. I stand by that.
Next episode, we're going into something that almost every intermediate English learner does that makes them sound less confident without realizing it. It's one pattern. It shows up constantly. We're going deep on it.
Subscribe if you haven't, and like this one if anything in here actually landed. And honestly, send it to one person who's been stuck on a big goal they can't seem to start. This might be the reframe they need.
You spent real time with us today. That's not small. You could have watched literally anything, and you stayed here. Thank you for that.
Genuinely, this conversation is better because you're in it. Take care of yourselves.
We'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Bye.